About to be live. And welcome back. We got another Hump Day Real Estate with Kendell in the DMV. And we got a special guest. And he's been on before, but he's been on last year. Tell us who we have here today with us tonight.
Hi, Craig Smolen with Advantage Star Mortgage here in the Maryland area.
Hey, Craig, the market's been crazy, especially last year. But you say, now I don't think you really have anything new, but you have something that you think will help people in this market in 2024. So let's tell me a little bit about well, first, let's talk about how you feel about the market real quick.
So we're seeing some reductions in the rates over the months of December and November. So we kind of came out of the rates were kind of going up in the sevens, almost hitting towards 8%. And we've come back down into the sixes and depending on what kind of loan it is, even getting down close to that high fives. So we're seeing some settlement of the rates. They've kind of leveled off again. But for 2024, we're really seeing that the government's focus is that they're going to have some price reductions on the probably 3 to 6 reductions in the prime this year, which is what caused the rates to go up before. And if we can get at least 3 or 6 of those, my hope is that by July to October, somewhere in there, we may see the rates come down back in the fives, and that would be great.
That would be wonderful. But one thing that we can share with the people is that we are closing loans right now, right? We've at least done one deal already this year together.
Yep.
So loans are being closed.
Yeah, one of the things we're finding is that the rates aren't really stopping anybody from buying houses now, because everybody knows that when the rates go down to a certain point, they're going to refinance that house. So they would rather get the house now at the prices they are now before they get inflated later in the year. And then they can always refinance it, because the cost of a refinance is significantly less than it is to purchase a house.
Also, it's the need, right? What life event are you dealing with that buying a house makes sense? So that's another thing you're still seeing folks that it doesn't really matter about the interest rate, but because of whatever their life situation is, it just makes more sense to buy rather than to rent.
It does. And the rents now are significantly higher than they used to be. I mean, they've gone up to where we've seen people that are getting house payments that are less than what they were paying in rent, and they're building equity in the home. There's no better investment than real estate. I don't care the stock market or anything else. If you look over time, nothing has performed better than real estate.
Yeah, it makes sense. This makes no sense. Even if you're in the military and you might be let's say you move to a base in Maryland and you might be here for at least 5 years, it probably make more sense to get into something that you can probably get some appreciation, and that way when you go sell, you can take some cash when you go to get deployed wherever you're going.
Right, and there's no down payment required. So it makes it even easier for the military. 0 down payment requirement. The seller can pay all the closing costs. You can virtually get into a house with no money.
Yeah, that makes, I mean, that's it makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, you'd have to have a security deposit and first month's rent if you rent it.
And you watch all that money goes into Mr. Craig's pocket when he's renting your place.
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. But yeah, it makes all the sense in the world. I mean, they've got things out there that are making it easier for people to get into houses. As you had mentioned earlier, one of the things that we're seeing that I think is amazing, a lot of times when they have programs that help buyers get houses, there's always a compensating factor. Like they give you something, but the interest rate's higher. They give you something, but it's really a second loan. It's nothing free. But there's, a lot of people don't know about this program, but Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, who back all the conventional loans in the United States, have a program out there where they're giving a grant that is non-repayable. It's when you do a conventional loan, you have to put down a minimum of 3%. And they are giving 2 of the 3%. So you're basically getting to a house with 1%. And that 2%, never repayable. There's no strings attached to it at all. So they're giving you 2% equity in that house right up front for qualified buyers. So to me, I think that's one of the best programs out there, because most of the programs I see that they offer to people have strings attached, and this one doesn't.
Now, I heard you speak of Fannie Mae and all. Now, is there a specific bank that has this product? Because I hear people talking about Rocket Mortgage has the 1%.
So there's a big difference between retail and wholesale as far as lending concerned. For example, you can go to Rocket Retail, and we have Rocket Wholesale, plus a couple other lenders. But the wholesale lenders always have a better rate than the retail lender's going to have. But there aren't a lot of lenders offering it, because Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have teamed up with specific lenders to offer this program, because they just don't want to give it to everybody. They want the ones they have very good relationships with and the lenders that they trust. And they allow you to do it up to a sale price on a house of $360,000. If the house is 360 or less, and you have a qualifying credit score, we of course run it through the system to make sure it's approved, but there's a very likely chance that you will get approved for that. And you can still get seller help up to 3% for the closing costs.
Now, is this that UWM program?
No,
Okay.
that's not
So-
a UWM program. This is the thing about this one is because it's backed by the federal government. It's a Fannie Freddie program. It's not a bank program. It's just being offered through certain banks. That's what gives it its legitimacy. Any other program I've seen, they give you money, they raise the interest rate on the house, so they're just compensating and getting it somewhere else from you. Where in this case, it's the same rate you'd get if you put your own 3% down. A lot of the programs, they tell you that, well, we'll give you this money as a loan, but you have to own the home for 5 or 7 years, or else you have to pay it back. In this case, you could sell the house 3 days later, and there's no payback. There's just no strings attached to it at all. It's the first time in years that I've seen a program that's, to me, this legitimate to benefit those buyers.
Gotcha. What's the credit score requirement?
There's not a specific one, because it depends on several variables. They look for that you haven't been in the credit scoring system for a short period of time, so they're looking for some depth of your credit. Somebody who just got in the credit bureau and got a credit card last week, it's going to be tougher to qualify. But I would say you're going to have credit scores in the higher range to do it. And it just depends on what the other factors are that they have. They've had, 5 years in the credit bureau, and they've paid everybody on time, is going to allow you to have maybe a slightly lower credit score because you've got those other variables. People don't realize that loans don't get approved by banks. Loans get approved by Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and HUD, and the VA, depending on what type of loan they're doing. And there's an algorithm. So we type everything in to the particular institution, and it comes back and says approved for that person. And then what the lender does is the lender says, okay, Fannie Mae approved it, Freddie Mac approved it. We have to follow those findings, because on those findings, it says, get me pay stubs, get me W-2s, whatever the criteria is. And as long as the lender follows those findings, they do the loan, and Fannie or Freddie are backing that loan. They're guaranteeing the loan. So the lender has to follow those things, or else they've got a loan that's not guaranteed out there, and they're on the hook for it themselves. So that's something most people don't know. It's Fannie, Freddie, HUD, and the VA. They're actually approving your loan. The lender is just servicing that loan for them. So everyone's different. We run it through the algorithms. Doesn't cost anybody anything to, fill out an application and say, hey, Craig, run it through and tell me if I qualify for the 2%. It's pretty simple. We do pre-approvals take probably less than an hour, something like that. I know there's some places out there that seem to take all day to do it. Some of the bigger box lenders, like you say, these retail lenders, but we have the ability to get people approved very, very quickly.
Is this the first-time home buyer only program?
Doesn't necessarily have to be a first-time home buyer. No. The way
Gotcha.
it's under a program that Fannie and Freddie have called Home Ready and Home Possible. And it's for people that have a median income of 80% or less of the median income for that area. So there's a chart that you go to, there's a website you go to, and you put in whatever zip code they're looking to buy in, and it will tell you what the median income is for that area. And as long as their income is 80% or less of what the maximum is, that's the qualifying criteria to do these Home Ready and Home Possible programs. And then Home Ready, Home Possible is saying if the other criteria meet, that you're buying a house and not financing more than $350,000, we run it through and it says, yes, you qualify for the 2% besides. The other thing is, even if they didn't qualify for the 2%, when you qualify with that 80% of the income maximum, the Home Ready and Home Possible gives you better interest rates, and it also gives you lower mortgage insurance that people pay on a monthly basis. So there's other benefits to it besides just the 2% you may qualify for. So even if you don't, I've seen rates that are half a point less because you qualify for the Home Ready and the Home Possible portion of Fannie and Freddie's guidelines.
Gotcha. And so can the seller give credit?
They can give up to 3% seller help. Anytime you're doing a conventional loan with less than 10% down, they can give up to 3%. If somebody put down 10%, they can get up to 6% seller help.
Gotcha. And and I think you mentioned this, but the kind of the cap loan amount is about 360,000 for the program, right?
The sale price would be 360. The loan amount would be around 350 after the 3% down. So they just have a cap on it because what they want to do is they want to give 2% to more people out there, and they only have a certain pool of money to work with. So if they're giving it to somebody on a $700,000 house, it limits how many people they can give this program to. So I mean, it's kind of geared. It is geared towards the first-time home buyer, but it's not necessarily the first-time home buyer.
Gotcha. And you already mentioned that the mortgage insurance is a little cheaper on this product, right?
It is. Mortgage insurance is cheaper and the rates can be significantly less under this program. So what we do is when we take an application and we see that somebody qualifies for a conventional loan, the first thing we do is we look at what's the absolute best program for them. So the first thing we always look for to see if they qualify for the Home Ready and the Home Possible for the better rates and for the lower insurance. And then we say, let's run it through and see if we can also get them the 2%. They may not even know about it. We let them know about it because it's obviously to their benefit.
Gotcha. Okay. What about the can you buy a condo with this program or only
Absolutely.
townhouses, single family?
No, anything that you can buy on a conventional loan qualifies. There's no limitations for what type of property you're buying.
And we do know that the program is income specific.
Yes.
Is it owner occupied only?
It's only owner occupied. It has to be a primary residence. The other reason for that is because if you're buying an investment property, you have to put a lot more money down than 3%.
Gotcha. And so with this one as well, would 2 to 4 units be out, or could you do a 2 to 4 unit?
2 to 4 unit is fine. Yes, every type of property is allowed. Whatever Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac allow, manufactured housing, any of that can be used under this program.
Gotcha. Well, those are the questions I have. Is there anything else you want to share?
Just it's a good time to do it. We offer VA loans, like I said, with no money down. We've got this 1% down for conventional buyers. We also have programs for FHA buyers where we can do 100% financing, where they give you a second loan for the 3.5% down that you need. That's great for FHA buyers. I like the conventional if you can do it first, because obviously the 2% is 2% free equity. It's not a second loan on the house, but you get FHA buyers that are limited on their funds available. We've got that. So we try to cover the whole gambit on anything that's needed. We can do tax ID loans for people that just have a tax ID and they don't have a social security number. There's loans for those. I don't think people realize that there's just specific loans for just about any criteria. Self-employed people that, tax returns don't show a lot of money, but they bring in a lot of cash. You can do a bank statement loan. You can do a 1099 loan. And for investment properties, you can even do no income at all loans. So there's a real gambit out there. There's a lot of products out there right now that probably weren't there after the mortgage meltdown in 2008. So people just don't realize that all these new products have come out again.
Gotcha. Tell people how they can reach you.
Sure.
What's the easiest?
Advantage Star Mortgage is the company. There's my card. Phone number is 240-299-0644. We're kind of unique because we're 7 days a week and we work from 8 a.m. until, as Marcel knows, usually we'll answer phones up till 10 o'clock if we have to. So, we want to be available when you're looking at houses, because you may see a house you fall in love with and go, gosh, I wish I knew what the payment was on this house. You're not going to get a person at Rocket Mortgage Retail to be available at 6 o'clock at night or on a Sunday to give you that information. And we know you need the information because, Marcel may say, look, I've only got till 5 o'clock on a Sunday night to get that offer in, or we're going to lose it. You'll be able to get a hold of us. We'll be able to get you the pre-approval letter and make sure you have no issues with putting your offer in on a house. So we're very available.
Hey, folks, if you want and you're looking for an opportunity to purchase a house this year in 2024, we are a team that worked hard together to try and help you make the right decision and get the right financing to get you in that house and for you to win the opportunity, the offer to get in the house. So we work together to put all those pieces together to make sure that the crazy thing is that most time, if I have all your criteria, I can find your house in 2 weeks, even with the bad inventory. Just got to have the right criteria. And with Craig and when he looks at his process and see exactly what loan program, we work together and piece and put the puzzle together, and we get you to be a homeowner, whether that's move up, move down, or first time home buyers. We're here to assist you, and we look forward to keep trying to bring in and give more information to you guys, so you can make a sound decision to stop paying folks like Craig rent every month.
Not the only one. No, but Marcel has a lot of knowledge. He really does. He's been in the business a long time. And one thing you'll find is when you find realtors like him, full-time realtors, they're going to be a lot more engaged than some of these realtors out there that work part-time and they're working for the federal government as well. It's always best to work with a full-time realtor.
I appreciate that. And a full-time loan officer, because this is what he does. And you'll get all the knowledge and all the information that you need to know to make a sound decision. Hey, folks, Craig, I appreciate you.
Yep, thank you.
And we'll get you on again soon. But for now, it's another Hump Day Real Estate with Kendell and the DMV. We're going to sign off and let you have the rest of your evening. But thanks again for checking us out, and reach out to us. We're ready to service you.
Yes,
have a blessed one.
Thank you. Bye-bye.